Hey guys, it's John. Welcome back to the channel. There's no way around it. We really lost a movie legend this week in that of Drew Struzan. I mean, if you don't know who Drew Struzan is, you probably do even without knowing. But he is to movie posters what John Williams is to movie music. So with that being said, I put together just a few little stories that I felt really conveyed what Drew Struzan meant to the industry and what he meant to the world. It's just an incredible loss, and it was just my way of kind of honoring him and hopefully teaching you a little something about his life and legacy. Drew Struzan's art forever changed the way movie posters were designed. Let's take a look at the story behind the best works of one of the most influential movie poster artists of the 80s and 90s, and probably of all time. He started with legendary titles like Blade Runner, The Thing, Indiana Jones, and Star Wars, and my personal favorite.
This baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
Although you might not know Struzan by name, you certainly know him by his movie posters. He's absolutely legendary among 80s pop culture lovers and everyone who is ever touched by his iconic illustrations and paintings, and defined movie poster aesthetics during the 80s and 90s. A famous quote from Drew Struzan comes from the time when he was asked what would he do in college. He clearly had artistic talent, but had to decide between fine art and illustration. He chose the latter, and this is what he famously said about it. "I was poor and hungry, and illustration was the shortest path to a slice of bread. As compared to a gallery showing, I had nothing as a child. I drew in a toilet paper with pencils. That was the only paper around. Probably why I love drawing so much today is because it was just all I had at the time." After graduating, he stayed in LA and landed a job at the design studio Pacific Eye and Ear. Here, he soon started designing album cover art for bands such as the Beach Boys, the Bee Gees, Black Sabbath, and Alice Cooper. Drew's cover for Welcome to My Nightmare would later be selected by Rolling Stone as one of the top 100 album covers of all time. While the quality of his work was steadily growing, Drew got his breakthrough in Hollywood. He did so with a famous circus-style poster for the 1978 release of a movie called
Star Wars, a billion years in the making, and it's coming to your galaxy this summer.
For the 1978 re-release of Star Wars, the studio contacted well-known airbrusher Charles White to build a circus-style poster that conveyed the action and excitement of the film on paper. And although Charles was a master at the airbrush, he had one problem. He was still not convinced his talents were good enough to draw the human form. So he contacted friend Drew Struzan to help him design the poster. Struzan designing the iconic characters, White designing the world around them. This was a bonus for Struzan as he had always wanted to sharpen his skills with the airbrush, and Charles helped him craft those skills through this process. Upon completing the poster, they realized there was not enough room for the building block. They went on a leap of faith and proposed a guerrilla-style poster, the poster looking like it was glued to an unfinished wall, giving it a tactile feel.
There's a very bad feeling about this.
Lucas in the studio liked the poster so much, not only because it had room for the building block, but was able to now incorporate Obi-Wan Kenobi. To this day, Lucas has been quoted as saying this is his favorite iteration of the original Star Wars poster. And that's pretty cool. In the 1980s, Drew Struzan achieved the greatest of his success and reached the pinnacle of his career. His style and finally his name became associated with one hit after the other. Some of his iconic posters included those of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, The Goonies, Lady Hawk, The Muppet Movie, Return of the Jedi, Batteries Not Included, Police Academy, the Cannonball Run films, Coming to America, and Back to the Futures 1, 2, and 3. An entire generation of viewers would be shaped by these famous films, their major stars, and their unforgettable posters. Among Drew's many commissions and collaborations, his work with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas truly brought his style worldwide recognition. The breakthrough came in 1981 when Drew Struzan created the international poster for Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Another illustrator, Richard Amsel, was chosen for the US market, but for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Lucas and Spielberg sought the more visceral, emotional style that Drew had already perfected. So in 1984, they bet on him and they won. His poster for Indiana Jones instantly conveyed everything that was new and wonderful about the film, elevating both Indiana Jones and Struzan to icon status. Robert Zemeckis was already a fan of Drew's artwork when he contacted him in the middle of the 80s. He later told Drew, "I waited until I made a film good enough to deserve your poster, and I think Back to the Future is that film."
Great Scott!
The idea was simple but effective. Michael J. Fox's Marty McFly is caught just before stepping into the adventure, placing one foot into the galley wing door of the stainless steel DeLorean. The wheels are on fire, and the light inside the car shines like a signal. What so many people love about this poster, Michael J. Fox included, was that it drops the viewer right into the action and almost begs the question, are you ready to go for a ride? The first poster was such a success that Zemeckis enlisted Drew for all 3 of the film series. Yes, the 1980s were a most intensive decade, where it was estimated that Drew Struzan illustrated up to 10 movie posters per year. He really created a stylistic universe that defined the aesthetics of a long and glorious period of cinema history. And with the advent of digital illustration and the birth of programs like Photoshop, the taste changed towards a different kind of graphic design and movie poster consumption. On top of that, the internet changed the way studios promoted their releases, the movie poster being just a fraction of the marketing effort that goes into it. And although he officially retired in 2008, he still lent his magic hand towards iconic movies such as Harry Potter, Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy, and the new episodes of the Indiana Jones saga. Behind every poster there's a story, and there's many stories to tell. Like when he was tasked with painting the poster for The Thing in only one night, or how he had both the Return of the Jedi and Blade Runner posters canceled right after completion of the job, despite being epic paintings much beloved by both the marketing teams working on the film and the fans. Or how he had only 1 week to design, draw, and paint each poster for the 1997 re-release of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. But with nearly over a half a century of dedication and craftsmanship and 150 movie posters later, there's just too many stories to tell. And although in some regard this level of craft and design has been lost to time, the legacy of Drew Struzan certainly has not. He inspired generations of fans, future filmmakers, actors, and changed the way studios thought about marketing films, inspiring audiences, and is truly one of the pioneers of movie making, displaying how the magic of film starts with just pen and paper.
This exists for itself, in itself, because it has value as itself. And you have to look at it with those eyes and with that heart to really understand what it's trying to give you and say to you. I willfully try to paint open-endedly, which is to say I'm not telling you what to think. I'm setting up a circumstance that asks you questions. They'll turn out to be your own questions, and they'll turn out to be your own answers.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit of something about the life and legacy of Drew Struzan, a true pioneer in the film industry. When researching this video, one of my favorite stories was that of Michael J. Fox, who said on the set Back to the Future Part 2, he was literally blown away and starstruck by meeting Drew Struzan. He was already at icon status and still had a long body of work ahead of him. Well, with that, thank you so much, guys. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below letting me know your favorite Drew Struzan poster, and I will see you guys at the movies. Bye.
It's one of those experiences that you would hope your whole life would be full of, but I had one or two of them now and again.